Okay, one more kind of quick one. Making particles, where do these things come from? We got a lot of them in the standard assets and other resources, but sometimes you might want to make your own. For instance, the snowflake that I had here. So let's start a share screen. Making particles. Okay. Well, you'll need a texture editor like Photoshop or GIMP. Find a texture that you want to make your particle out of. I found a snowflake somewhere on the web. This is an actual photograph of a snowflake. You need to, in Photoshop, cut out all the stuff that you don't want to have appear. Photoshop has a smart edge detector that does a pretty good job of this. And then add a black fill layer that goes underneath this. What's going to happen is that when we import this, we'll define alpha to come from grayscale. And so the black will be transparent and everything else will be sort of transparent. It'll use the grayscale of the image to get its color. You can save it as a PSD. They're fairly large. JPEGs or PNGs are smaller. And import that into your Unity in the texture editor. Choose that the alpha source is alpha from grayscale as opposed to input texture alpha, which is another way to do it that doesn't work quite as well. With this, everything that's black, the layer that we inserted, will be 0, and that counts as transparent. And the lighter grayscales will be partially opaque. In Unity, you'll need a material with one of the particle shaders. There's Legacy Particle Alpha Blended Pre-Multiply is one that I've used for a number of instances here. But for instance, you can also try the Particles shaders. There are 3 of them: Alpha Blended, Additive, and Additive Soft, each of which yields slightly different looking pictures. And so over here is my texture that I imported. I picked from grayscale and pressed apply. I made a material. Here's Snowflake Legacy, where I've put that texture in its slot. And this is the Legacy shader Particle Alpha Blended. There also are the Particles Additive, the Particle Additive Soft, and the Particle Alpha Blended. And there are examples here in the scene of each of these. And they're each slightly different, but give it a try, see what you like. I, of course, have added a rotating animation so that we can kind of see them rotate. These particles are 2-sided textures. A lot of materials are only 1-sided, and particle textures are 2-sided. Just for fun, also in here is a rainstorm, a particle effect, using a particle I found on the web to make a raindrop. And of course, we've got trails going on here. I think there's some fireworks off in the distance going off somewhere. Yeah, they're the fireworks. So a rainstorm, and also a snowstorm. And in this snowstorm, I've included a wind zone that kind of blows them around. And of course, they're little sub-emitters for when they hit the ground. They appear to lay flat on the ground. But we've got a wind zone here that is blowing them around using that external force. So that was just a quick one. I'll stop sharing and I'll end recording and I'll see you in class.